All right, so how do you research property quickly? What's the first thing you do? How many things do you need to do? If you're looking at a property online or something, how do you get to all the properties in your pipeline just steady streaming through them? Well, the truth is there's only two things you need to do. There's only two things you really need to pay attention to in order to see if we want to take a step forward. If this property is worth submitting an LOI. I'm going to go through those things with you right now. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Tim Diesel. I'm a commercial real estate consultant, and this channel is designed to give you tips and strategies in your business to help you along the way and really answer a lot of questions that might be troubling you and just get you to the finish line much quicker. So there's only two things you need to know, and the first one is you need to know who's managing the property. And that is by far the most important thing in any property, in any business, right? It's who's the manager? Who's managing this property? And your other question is, how are you financing it? That is it. That's how you simply tell, are you submitting an LOI or not? So what do we need to do? We need to gather information. Whatever property it is, if it's a multi-family apartment property, ask for the rent roll. They'll usually give you that without too much trouble. If it's a retail property, an office, warehouse, they'll usually tell you what the tenants are paying and how long they're obligated to stay. What's the term of the lease? Very unlikely they're going to give you the entire leases, but you don't need that right now. You just want to see what this looks like. Does this make sense? And you got to get the numbers. You got to pretty much assess the condition of the property later. You don't have to do that right now. The second thing you need to do is financing. The easiest way to figure out how you're financing a property is trying to figure out what the seller needs. A lot of times this question is not asked. I'm not talking about why are you selling. I'm talking about what is important to them. Do they need cash at closing? Are they tired of managing the property? What other event is taking place? Why are they selling? Have they just made too much money and it's a REIT and they just want to see what they can cash out? Well, that's probably not your seller. So you really want to kind of keep your attention focused on what they want, because that could really help with owner financing. I'll be telling you guys more strategies about that. But it just depends. Maybe they want to close later and you need more time to get the money from your investors. So you really want to have a real good track on this. Now for management, it's either going to be you or a company. If this project needs total rehab, you'd probably want to keep your eyes on the ball and you probably want to do it yourself. If you're buying a triple net lease with a franchise tenant in there, you probably don't need to worry too much about you getting all hands on deck and turning this thing around. So management is really the key thing. If it's not local, more than likely you're going to have a management company or someone else take place. You may have to hire someone within your complex, depending on what you're buying, to manage the property. Maybe a person's running their business out of there. They seem responsible. You can have them do it for a fee, of course. So that's really the biggest thing that takes place is who's managing the property, because that's going to be your lifeblood, your income. Money is coming in every month. You need to know what's coming in, what's going out, who's paying those bills. So that is very, very important. Now, the next thing is financing. Depending how the property cash flows, that's going to determine if you're going to go to the bank, if you're going to get private money, hard money, bridge loans. Can you maybe get an investor to help you out, raise the funds? You do need to do general assessment of what you think the property will bring in or possibly cash flow. You're not maybe sure because maybe you're turning this thing around. depending on what property software you use. Now, when it comes to property software, this is what I use as a broker and as an investor. It's the Analyst Pro. I'm gonna give you guys a link. You can get a huge discount on this thing. It is by far the best property evaluation software that I have seen on the market. I've tried them all. If you are using something that looks like an Excel spreadsheet, throw that out. That's nonsense. You need to be able to pop numbers in within minutes and get exactly what the cap rates are, what the cash flow is, the projection for 5 years. You're gonna love it. I've tried all of them. There's not very many out there that I like anymore. So stay away from that spreadsheet. Stay away from anything else that's hard to understand. You need to be able to print it out, get it to your investors, get it on there. Just as much simpler, cleaner way to do it. Definitely check that out. That's what I've been using. So in the research phase, it's very, very easy. All you need to ask yourself is, okay, who's managing this property? So it's out of state, you already know the answer more than likely. And finance. So I should have put rent roll. You do need the rent roll. Those are the only two pieces of information you need right now. If you have good detailed information on those two, you can pretty much evaluate your LOI, your strategy, your owner financing terms, however else you want to play with this property, what your plans are. Are there extra square footage that's not being used properly, maybe in a retail or warehouse location? Can you do more with it? These are the biggest things. You do not need more than to figure out who's managing it, who's financing it to get you guys started. Please leave a comment if this was helpful. I'd like to know, just so I can fine-tune these, the better way to serve you. And if there's any questions you have, let me know. So my question for you today is, how many hours do you spend, or how much time do you spend evaluating a deal before you submit your LOI? How much time are you investing in every deal? If you have 5 or 6 deals everyone's sending you, how much time are you investing in those deals before you know you can take the next step? Alright guys, like this video, subscribe to this channel, ask me any questions you have, and I hope to bring you guys more content that's valuable and helpful to you. Thank you.